Welcome to Life is Too Short. History is full of surprises, and sometimes pages of history reveal some facts that left us speechless. Today's video is going to thrill you, since we'll explore the famous world of pharaohs. If you're a fan of ancient facts and would love to deep dive into a number of jaw-dropping facts, this is the right channel for you. Please hit the red subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss any updates. So here we go. Number 5. Mummification was not for everyone. If you've seen the Hollywood movies The Mummy and The Mummy Returns, I bet you know what the mummy is. But like the concept of the movie, mummification is not a kind of punishment. Centuries ago, the civilization of Egypt believed that after the death, soul would come back to the body, so a number of kings were mummified after their death. The third installment, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, was a bit different, as the king was buried with an army in order to protect him in heaven. Whatever the reasons were, but the fact is mummification was not allowed for everyone. The process was too much time-consuming and expensive, so that it was reserved for only wealthy members of society. The majority of the dead people were kept in simple pits. So the next time if you see the movie, don't get afraid of the mummy and think of this part of the video. I bet you might laugh at the misconception of the movie. Number 4. They share food with mummies. We know sharing is caring, and it's a good virtue, but sharing food with dead people is quite weird, and more than that, it's scary if you're suffering from nyctophobia. This might surprise you, but the tombs were designed in such a beautiful way, like we design our home. In other words, we can say that the tomb was actually a kind of home for mummy. Even they kept a secret door, which was mentioned in history as Tomb Chapel. It was a kind of entrance only open for family members, priests, and sometime for well-wishers. Regularly, they offered the mummies food and drinks, and they believed that their offerings were consumed by the spirit. But wait, I have something more weird and scary for you. I hope you don't afraid of darkness. If yes, please be careful, as the ancient Egyptians used to spend nights inside the tomb. Of course, not daily. During their annual festival, Feast of the Valley, many families spend nights with their ancestors in the tomb. Well, it's not that scary, as all of them enjoy the night drinking and feasting under the light of torchlight, and they called it a reunion with the dead. Number 3. Women in ancient had equal rights. Gender equality was an issue centuries ago, but ancient Egyptian women had equal rights to men. Women were allowed to buy, sell, earn, own, or they could also inherit property. They were so independent and protected that they hardly required any guardians. Even widowed or divorced were allowed to raise their children on their own. A mistress could study and solve the cases in the absence of their husband. Even they can punish the culprits. Not only that, the women in ancient Egypt were able to run a business. If her husband was absent or out of town, the woman was legally the administrator and could take any decision in favor of business. Only one fact was common at that time. A woman was responsible for all internal or domestic matters, like women doing today, and the man, the husband, was dealing with external affairs. Number 2. Incestuous marriages in Egyptian time. When we talk about Egyptian time, love and marriage and affair are the common terms we come across. You hardly find a guy who never heard the story of Cleopatra. Sometimes we're charmed by her beauty and intellect, while very next moment her love and affairs with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony surprise us. But incestuous marriages were usual in the Egyptian era, as according to historians, a few men married their sisters. But wait, it was not that easy for a woman, since she had to pass a kind of training. Before they get married, the queen had to undergo a training that ensures that the queen is ready to bear all the responsibilities, from birth to raise a child. However, incestuous marriage is not a mandatory term. Nefertiti, one of the most prominent queens, was born non-royal. Number 1. The pyramids were actually built by paid laborers. Whenever the word Egypt strikes our ears, pyramids start forming in our minds. Well, that's natural. Pyramids are considered as the most beautiful monuments today, and no doubt in ancient times, they were center of attraction. But there is a fact you might not hear. The pyramids were not built by slaves. The king's men hired laborers to build giant construction. The project was probably time-consuming, as they didn't have high-tech machines, so the laborers were provided all basic necessities from the house, to food and medication. If any of them die, they were buried nearby cemetery. Archaeological studies found that pyramids were built by approximately 5,000 laborers. Ancient Egyptian history is awesome, but sometimes you find it scary. Well, this is it from my side. If you're a fan of such content, please subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification for regular updates. See you soon!